know that there are over 5 languages in this world?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be 5 tips on how to learn a language. I speak 3 languages fluently and I'm currently learning Hangul. So I speak English, Svenska, and Nihongo. English and Swedish is more like my mother tongue. Learned those when I was young, whereas Japanese is the language I am self-taught in, and I like to say I'm fluent because every time I speak Japanese with locals or Japanese people, they always tell me I sound very good and that I sound like I've lived in Japan or anything like that. So that is the end goal for me, at least, to sound more like a local when I'm speaking a language with someone else. And today's video is tips on how to learn Hangul, but these tips work on any other languages that you're trying to learn as well. These are just a few tips that works for me and hopefully will work for you. And let's get straight into this video.
When I wake up, I feel cozy, yeah. Can you hold up? Don't need no coffee yet. Got no makeup. How do you look so fine? Bust up, bust up. How did I make you mine? Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah.
So the first thing I would suggest to do is obviously move to the country where you want to learn the language. So if you have the chance and the opportunity, I would definitely recommend to move to the country. If I had the chance to move to Korea, well, you know what, I could probably move to Korea or Japan, either way, but take the chance, do it. That way you'll be thrown in and you have to learn it, and you'll be speaking to locals and speaking to people there, making friends there and speaking the language, and that way you'll start picking up a few words. And you can always do a language course in the country where you want to learn the language, which I'm planning on doing. So maybe next video you'll see me moving to the country. Foreshadowing. My next tip is the number one thing that I think is absolutely crucial, at least when I was learning Japanese and Korean, since the characters and the alphabet is more picture based. That's at least how it is for me. I tend to memorize the characters of the words or what they mean. So for me, this is what works best. Obviously in other countries where they have like a European alphabet where you can see that it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that might be a different way of a different way for you to learn the alphabet. But for example, for me, when I'm learning Korean or when I was learning Japanese, but for example, let me show you in my Korean book, they have their vowels and their consonants. I have another book here that I wrote everything down in, so I remembered. Not the full thing, but they have the consonants and the vowels. So for me to learn the alphabet, for example here, is the best way to learn the language, or at least learn to read and write it, because they kind of have pictures and they kind of have, so for me it's kind of to memorize what each character is, and that is the best way I would say to completely understand the alphabet, and that way you can move forward with knowing how to read and write.
You need to learn Americanish.
Because when I was learning Japanese, which was my mistake, I had to go back and relearn the alphabet. I kind of skipped over completely understanding the alphabet and just going straight into the writing of like introductions and all that stuff. So really take your time to learn that, because you need to learn the alphabet to be able to read and write and have an understanding of the language you're speaking. Tip number 3 is obviously buy the materials, buy the books. I have this one which I think is really good and it's for beginners, and I would say I'm a beginner. So in the beginning, it kind of tells you a little bit about how Korean works, reading vowels and the sound of letters and everything. And they also have an audio that you can find online with them, so I think that's really good. But I really like interactive books where they show you how to write the character, if that makes sense. So that's just how you would write. You start by writing this line straight down and then adding that part there, so it kind of shows you the direction of the word. And this is A, as you can see there. So it's an interactive one where you write out and then they'll give you little like words to write out, just so you can memorize, if you know how to like if you have a good memorization skills, to memorize that. And then I got this Korean book, which I absolutely love. It has a CD as well in the back, but I don't have anywhere to play the CD, unfortunately. So I'm kind of just going off with what I know and how I've like interpreted Korean, and like when I'm watching K-dramas, to how it sounds. But I absolutely love this book. I wrote in the alphabet. I didn't finish it because I got lazy and there wasn't enough space. But here they have the vowels, and I like to just copy out some of the characters and seeing like how I can memorize them. And then lesson 2 is about the consonants. So here, for example, let me go to lesson 4 is greetings and names, and they have pictures, and it looks like a little comic book vibe, and I really like that because it will say it in the, I'm gonna call it Romaji. I don't know if that's the same words for Korean, English, Korean, but in Japanese, when you have like the Japanese word in hiragana or katakana, and then you have the Romaji and then English underneath, so you can kind of read out if you don't completely know the alphabet yet. So here, as you can see, it has the Romaji, which is this here. All of this is Romaji, and then the English saying what he is saying to Professor. And then I try to challenge myself by writing out, like for example, writing out this word here, yeoksa, I think. Don't judge me on that, was really bad, but I'm just a bit nervous when I have to speak it because I'm not the best at speaking. I can write it and read it, but speaking, I need to get better at. But
what are you saying? What are you saying?
There, and then I kind of wrote it out in the Hangul version, just so I have an idea of what, like, how to write it out and like kind of test myself, because at first I was making a lot of mistakes, but then, you know, you get better as you keep practicing. And yeah, these 2 are the ones I bought. Obviously books can be a bit expensive, like this one was £12, and then the other one was, I don't remember, it doesn't have the price tag, £9 maybe or something. But these 2 I would recommend, because this one is an interactive one where you can write everything in the book, and this one is also quite interactive, and I really like how they have the Romaji, so you kind of like read it. And if you have a CD player, why not? I think you can also go on to a website for this one. I haven't checked it out properly, but you can probably go on a website to find this and listen to it. And also I like listening to a lot of Korean teachers. So there's a really good one on YouTube that I like to listen to. Her name is Miss Vicky, and I started off learning with her YouTube channel before I bought the books, and she is so clear. And literally I only listen to her and some, like, when I'm on the train, if I want to listen to some Korean just to remind me, I'll have some of that in on Spotify. Like, they'll teach you how to say a few words. She's literally my favorite one. And yeah, I'll show you in a bit. And number 4, going into from what I said, is to watch series, movies, or listen to like learning programs in the language that you want to learn. So I want to learn Korean. I am watching shows in Korean, watching movies in Korean, listening to, I'm gonna call it a podcast. When I'm on the train, I'll listen to them speaking just so I can hear how they pronunciate words, how they make sounds, how sounds sound.
Have you ever had a dream that you had,
if that makes sense? But yeah, I would really recommend that, so you kind of have an idea, because that's what I did when I was learning Japanese. I watched a lot of anime, a lot of anime and kind of picked up like their accents and like try to work on the dialect. So now when I do speak Japanese, I've been told by Japanese people themselves that they think that I sound like a local, which is such a compliment. So I'm like, you know, just trying to steal that so I don't sound very foreign when I speak it, but also like it's okay if you do, at least you're learning, and I think that's always good to have, like when you go into a country, that you at least know the basics. But yeah, so if you can become really fluent and sound like you're from that country or you've lived in that country, amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
And the fifth and final tip I would say is study at least once a day. Put in the effort to study for a few hours. You don't have to study for the whole day. You can study for at least 1 hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours, depending on much you want to study that day. If you have more time one day, you can study more that day and not study the next day, but at least study every day or as much as possible is what I was saying. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like, comment and subscribe. You made it this far watching me and watching the tips. So let me know down below if there's any other tips you have, or if you're learning a language and you want to have any more tips on what else to think about, if these 5 tips weren't enough. On my next video, don't forget to hit that like, comment and subscribe. Really helps me out and it makes me know that you like the kind of videos I do, and I'll keep up the consistent posting for you guys. And yeah, that's why I'm not a singer. But anyways, I'll see you on my next video. Bye!